Hey y'all, it's Leslie with Fat Cat Flossing, back for another day of the crazy. I want to introduce you to Champion Bumblebee One Thing Beauty. This is Beauty. She went to the show in Mesquite down near Dallas a couple weeks ago, and she earned enough finals and points to be a champion. So I'm really proud of her. She will have her 1-year birthday on, I think, the 14th. And then she's, when she calls again, hopefully Ori will be up to the task, and hopefully she will make some babies for me. She's a beautiful Burman. She is a blue lynx point, meaning her underlying color is blue, which is the dark steel gray color. And then she's a lynx point, meaning she has the tiger stripes. So, very proud of my girl. All right, little girl, you can go. She was up here wanting to help, so I figured, what the heck. Anyway, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. I went down to Dallas to that show, and like Teresa, I have some chronic fatigue issues, and for some reason that trip just really kicked my ass. So from the Wednesday before I left, so Wednesday 2 weeks ago, until last Thursday, and I got back Sunday night, I stitched nothing. The animals got fed, the litter boxes got scooped, we ate, and I did the dishes, and that was about it. I'm playing catch up. You can still see my more loads of laundry to fold over the corner of my shoulder here. So ignore that. But I'm back, I'm feeling better. I have gotten a little bit of stitching done this last week. Hi, sweet girl. But anyway, let's talk about that stuff. News for us, I had my 15th anniversary on Tuesday. Yay us! I love my husband, he's awesome. I really couldn't be happier with him. I'm very blessed to have found him. And for our anniversary, we really didn't like give each other gifts. We got stuff for us. It's hotter than the 7th level of hell in Arkansas during the summer. And my air conditioner is 20 years old, like my house, and doesn't really, like if I set it on 74, it cools to 78 kind of thing. So I have not been enthused about cooking because it's just so friggin' hot, and it heats up the whole house. Just seems like it's one, you know, that's the, can't do it, can't cool it 1 more degree. So we've been looking for ways to eat without heating up the whole house by me cooking a big dinner. So, as our kind of joint anniversary present, we got an Instant Pot. Love it. I have cooked 3, I think, things in it. I made like smothered pork chops, and last night I made a chicken taco soup in it, and I made boiled eggs. Easiest boiled eggs ever. And both of the other recipes came out really good. So far, very happy with that, and it doesn't heat up my whole house. And it's relatively quick. And then the kid that was doing the weed eating on our yard just quit coming, you know, had too much to do for the summer. So it looked like, you know, the jungles of the Amazon in our backyard, and our little battery operated weed eater finally bit the big one when Steve tried to, you know, make the yard look better. So we also got a weed eater. So we had a really exciting anniversary. You know, basically a glorified crock pot and a weed eater. But what the heck. Anyway, welcome back. Thanks for coming to visit with me. If you're new, I appreciate you stopping in to chat about some cross stitch. And if you're coming back, I really appreciate you even more, because you know what you're in for. I think that's about all I had to talk about. Beauty wants to lick my hand. Sweet girl. Burmans are very sweet cats. And oh wait, I lied. This isn't Beauty. This is Nexie. Nexie is a solid blue point. Same underlying base color, but she doesn't have the stripes like Beauty does. And Nexie is about 2 years old. She is, I keep hoping she'll decide she wants to make babies, but so far she's been bred a couple times, but has never been pregnant. So she doesn't get pregnant soon, I'll go ahead and spay her. But she's a sweetheart, and she's kind of my husband's Burman. She loves her daddy. I mean, literally, like, he does anything and she runs to be with him. She's a sweet girl. She's a double brand champion. Love my kitties. Okay, let's talk some stitching. I actually had a finish. We went to Oklahoma City last weekend. My last 2 kittens from the Easter litter, I said it was going to be stitching, but there's cats again. My last 2 kittens from the Easter litter, the very sweet lady who got them, she got Peter and Precious, and she is from Idaho, and they flew in to Oklahoma City last weekend, so we drove over to meet them and send the kitties out with them. And Steve was nice enough to drive, so I got to do a little bit of stitching. And I finished Handful of Posies from Stacy Nash Primitives, and I really think this is very pretty. I'm going to it came as a kit with all the pieces parts, and it's finished this little pin disc thing, and I think I am going to finish it like that. I haven't really absolutely made up my mind, but I don't have anything quite like that, so I think I might finish that, finish it that way. But because it needs to be trimmed, you know, in this V shape down here, I usually put my initials and the date on it, but if I trim it, you know, along the edges of this basket like this, that really won't work. And I'm not sure I want to put them up in here. They might be kind of too in your face. So debating on whether to add my initials to it and if I'm going to finish it like this, but yay, a finish. Gimme. I don't have any FFOs because, you know, fatigue, fibro, just didn't have the oomph to do it. But I did finally get some stitching done last weekend. I had a finish. I've had a little bit of work on my whips. Not as much as I'd like, but I got a little bit done. Patriotic sampler from Jeannette Douglas. This is a beautiful design. Both Pam from Just Keep Stitching and Christine from Stitch All the Things are both absolutely kicking my butt on this sal. But I did make a little bit of progress because I had very little progress up to last weekend, and this is kind of what I did last weekend. I got stripes on the flag and most of that heart done and most of the words. I think I just have, there's another line of words up here. But I heard other things calling my name, so this has been put away. And I'm sorry. The dogs are having a conniption fit outside. It's actually cool enough this morning, meaning it's not 95 yet, that they're outside. And we apparently have a gopher in our backyard because I found the mounds. And the dogs are just ape shit to catch the gopher. So anyway, I also stitched just a little bit on Welcome Spring from Brenda Gervais. And I got, the cart is finished now, and most of the rest of the robin. I did not have his wing and tail done the last time y'all saw this, so a little bit of progress on that. I have told my husband when I get done with this video, I'm gonna go ahead and run into Fort Smith and run our errands, and I have to go today because the kittens are absolutely out of dry food. So they eat like little machines, let me tell you. I feed a $22 flat of wet cat food every day in the kitten room, not counting the rest of the cats, and they go through dry food just as fast. So I've got to go buy cat food. And the bearded dragon is out of worms, so I got to get the worms. Doesn't that sound appetizing? Then I got to go to the grocery store and pick up a few things. So anyway, when I get done with this, I have to run errands. I was going somewhere with that story. I have no idea where at this point. Anyway, my last thing that I have worked on, and this has been the one I really, really want to work on. This is Harvest Moon from Shepherd's Bush. And I had a fair bit of progress on this one this week. I absolutely like all Shepherd's Bush patterns. Love this one. Sorry, I should have had it folded up already. This is about the center of the design. It's a basically a band sampler. And I started with row of vegetables, and I have worked my way up. And since y'all saw this, I have finished everything above. I think y'all saw the black work, which is actually blue work. But I've finished those 3 or 4 rows of specialty stitches and another row of words, and started on the actual cross stitch panel up at the top. And I am so enjoying this one. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I'm gonna go run my errands this afternoon, and I have told Steve we're gonna have a sit on our butts weekend if possible. We'll see how that works. It never works like I want it to, but that's my plan, because I want to stitch. That's all my whips. I did finish kitting up a few things because I am planning to start these. They're both Sal's. God, y'all, excuse my brain deadness this morning. This is my 'tis the season. I have pulled my own Victorian motto threads. I did not order the thread pack because I have so many I feel obligated to use them. And the linen is 36 count. I'm so sorry, pardon me. 36 count tarnished silver from Lakeside Linens, and I think it's really pretty. And that's fairly true. It's a pretty pewter silver. And I'm planning, like everybody else in the world, to start this. And there he is. To start this on Labor Day. My friend Ann down at the Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock wanted me to share. This actually has the French Have a Joyous Season underneath it. It is also charted for 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly. Anne did her own. She did this piece a couple years ago and changed the wording to, I think, Sing Praises to Our Lord. And if she has offered, if anybody is interested in that, she will share that, you know, how she's charted that with somebody. If you let me know, I will pass it along to Anne at the Shepherd's Needle. She's a wonderful person. The last time I talked to her, she had a couple of those charts left. And I'm sure she would be, that's where I got my fabric and everything too. So I'm sure she would be happy to help you with that. Just let me know. I'll put you in touch with Anne, and she'll be happy to share her charting of that wording for you. The other thing that I have kitted up, and this starts, I think, the 12th of this month. This is Peace on Earth from Cottage Garden Samplings. Another pretty Cardinal Sal. And I believe that starts this Sunday, the 12th. And I have kitted it up with some Victorian Motto and some DMC. I didn't purchase additional specialty threads for this. This is a lighter gray fabric. I didn't want to do it on exactly the same thing. This is 36 count Weeks Dye Works Platinum. It is a lighter, paler gray than that other one. Has less of a bluish purpley undertone. But anyway, I'm planning on starting this Sunday, and I'm excited about that one. And it is currently residing in my little flowered bird bag here. But I'll show you what it's going to go live in just a minute. New stuff. This is the last of my birthday haul. Everything has arrived that I'd ordered. I have heard such positive things about the linen from Jukas at XG Designs on Etsy. And I ordered several pieces just for whatever, you know, I don't have specific plans for them. They're all 36 count, and I believe the base on all of them is Weigart linen. This is a fat quarter of what she calls light coffee, and it's a very pretty neutral brown. It's showing up more purple here than what it really is. It's brown. It's not purple. This is also a fat quarter. This one she calls pale blue. It is a very, very pale bluish, grayish color. It would have been great for one of those towels if I'd had it in time for that. And then 2 smaller pieces, because this just happened to be what she had in her shop. This is Antique Violet, and it is probably slightly lighter than what that's coming up there. And then a very dark brown, this one's called Dark Mocha, and it is a very, very dark chocolate brown. So I got those. And those smaller pieces are like 13 by 13 and 9 by 13. They were just what she had in her shop, and I wanted to try some of her linens and the colors. The linens, I don't like super stiff linen that has a whole lot of sizing in it, and these all have a nice feel to them. You know, if the linen feels like crunchy, I don't want to work on it. These all have a really nice feel to them. I also, I love Teresa Jeannette, Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler. But good Lord, she needs to quit making things because I want everything she makes. This is, what's this one called? Spider Veins. And it is a taupe, I mean, you know, very neutral taupe with those blue lines running through it. I wish there was more of the blue on this other, the upper half of this does not have much of the blue on it. It does have a little bit of kind of brownish or darker gray through it, but the blue is kind of only on this one edge, and I wish there were more of it running through the rest of it, because I really, really like that. But it is a beautiful piece of fabric, and again, it's got a great feel to it in your hand. And because Teresa is also sweet, always sweet, she also sent along another skein of Anchor floss. And I do have some Anchor, so I'll add that to my Anchor stash. But I want to stitch everything she shows. I want to stitch all of her patterns. I want to buy all of her linen. I want to be her bestie. And then last piece of linen. I have mostly got kitted up now, Lady of the Flag. And this is from Isabel at the Primitive Hair. This is the Constitution Preamble fabric. So September 11th, Christine from Stitch All the Things, Jackie from Cross My Stitches, I think, and a bunch of other folks. We're going to be starting Lady of the Flag. So I was excited to get that fabric. I'm doing it in DMC. I've got most of my order of Crying beads and stuff in. So I need to pick up a few more, because I only got a couple skeins. I need 4 of a couple of them. Gonna pick up some of that. And this is a 32 count fabric. No, I lied. It's 30 count. So I will probably have to stitch with 2 threads, which is not my favorite thing to do, but I really want the colors to pop on this, so I do think I will stitch with 2. So, like I said, we're all planning to start that on 9/11, because this was issued as a 9/11 benefit piece. So, anyway, I hope you'll join us on that, Sal. And I will link all of the channels and all of that information and everything below. And then the very last of my haul, I have seen so many people stitching. This is a Blackbird Designs chart. This is Land of Liberty. And this particular chart, if I can get it where you can't, it's called American Eagle. And you know me, I love the patriotic stuff. So, really like him. I think he may go on that. We'll see what the flosses look like, but he may go on that fabric from Teresa, because I think that blue in there would pull that out very nicely. And then the last pattern I got was, and I have no idea how to say this designer's, AuryTM, I don't know, I'm so sorry if I'm murdering that. This is Bonnie and Clyde Gobble Trouble. And Michelle Bindi and somebody that I don't remember right now are hosting a turkey sow in October. And I had bought another turkey pattern, and it was just too brown for me. I'm not a brown person. So I'm going to do this one. They're really cute. kind of, I think, a Quakerish motif with turkey heads. And there are several in this series. So really like that. Okay. Excuse me while I pick up what I dropped here, so I can put my preamble fabric away, because I don't want it to get messed up. That's all my goodies. Now, I want to talk a little bit about sewing stuff. Ta-da! This is my project roll. I followed Vonna Pfeiffer's The Twisted Stitcher, her tutorial, and I would recommend it to anybody. It is extremely easy to do. Even if you do not have expert level sewing skills, you can definitely do this. I used a pretty gold button here to secure the ribbon, because there's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really show up gold so much, but there's a gold design on the fabric. I really like it. I wish that I had made it about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches longer, because I have a couple of projects that are a little long for it, but that's okay. I mean, it's just, I've just folded up the fabric. It's fine. I may make another one when I have extra time. She said and laughed. But anyway, I really like it. It's keeping my stuff clean and out of the way of cats, and it's put away where I, you know, want it, where I know where everything is. So thank you again, Vonna, for sharing your tutorial with us. I don't think Vonna watches my videos, but thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all, I said I was tired when I got back last week, and when I am super fatigued like that, my brain, it's just not so good. So I think it was, I don't know, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, I decided I needed to finish this up. So I sat down at the sewing machine, and I had like put this part together, but I hadn't quilted it. And I had done the little yo-yos for the top, but I hadn't attached them. So I sat down to make this and attached it to the roll, sewed on the ends, sewed on the ribbon, completely, absolutely, 100% forgot to quilt across this. And I had drawn the darn lines on it with chalk. Brain spell, total brain spell. But anyway, it still works. It's just not quite as cool as it would be if it were quilted, but that's okay. The good news about having at least planned to quilt that was I bought a walking foot. Now, I have a funny story to tell you about the walking foot. I had an old sewing machine. I'd had it for, I don't know, 8 to 10 years probably. And I had bought the most base model machine you could get. I mean, it sewed a straight seam and it zigzagged and it was done. So when it started giving me trouble, I bought a newer Janome, and I think it's a like JW8100 or something, and I would recommend it to anybody. I love my sewing machine now. But I did have trouble with fabric bunching up when I sewed multiple layers and stuff. So on everybody's recommendation, I bought the walking foot. Now, I went to I tried to look online, couldn't find one. Went to a place called the Sewing Machine Center in Fort Smith, and they looked up my machine and said, hey, this is the one you need. We've got it. Here you go. So $42 and something cents later, I went home with my walking foot, tossed it in my little sewing box because I wasn't going to do it that night. So I went last week to put it on. I pulled it out and got it out of the package and went, that looks an awful lot like something that came with my machine. And sure enough, I went digging through my sewing box where I had thrown all the accoutrement that came with my sewing machine, and there was a walking foot that had come with it. So I now have a $42 and whatever cent credit at the Sewing Machine Center because, yay me, at least they took it back because I didn't need 2 of them. But it does work beautifully well, but check and see if you have one before you buy a second one. Anyway, I am using it for pretty much everything. I'm putting on zippers with it. You just have to watch what you're doing. Anyway, I would really recommend a walking foot. Makes life easier. I want to talk a little bit about a few sewing tips that I have picked up on, because I've had a lot of people comment, oh, I love that project bag. I wish I could make those. You can. If you have a sewing machine, it doesn't have to be fancy. The project bags don't require anything super duper. I don't put the zipper foot on to do a zipper anymore. It just took some practice and figuring it out, and it's okay. Hold on one second. But anyway, I am making the project bags. This is my 'Tis the Season or whatever, the Peace on Earth style bag. Well, actually, yeah, whichever one. This one is going to be mine. You know why it's going to be mine? Because I made these two, one to send to Michelle Garrett, one to send for her Alzheimer's walk giveaway. And I poked too hard when I turned my corners, or I had clipped them a little too closely. Anyway, I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're a little frayed right at the corner. So lesson number one is don't poke too hard when you turn stuff. But anyway, I have two bags ready to go for Michelle. Well, one of those two is staying with me. And I think I have enough fabric to make one more of those if anybody's interested in it. This is the other one I made this morning. Because when I noticed that I had poked holes in the other one, I couldn't send that one out. But I wanted to just give folks a couple of tips on what I do, because I'm not an expert seamstress. I don't want sewer. Not a sewer by any means. I had some sewing lessons when I think I was, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old, like 6th grade kind of thing. And sewed a little bit through high school. Have done a little bit of sewing as an adult, but not very much. And I am not, I mean, I couldn't sew a straight seam to save me. Not an expert, but I can make the project bags. And if I can do it, you can do it. But I was going to give folks a couple of tips on what I have discovered. Number one, don't poke too hard when you turn your corners. One of the things I do when I am done, and this one, all I've got to do to this one is turn it inside out. I've left it wrong side out so I can show you a couple things. When I am ready to sew these final seams down the side, one of the things I do is lay this on my cutting mat and I re-square the top to make sure that when I sew the seams, it's going to be square. It's not going to be cattywampus, because I've done that. I've got cattywampus bags. One of the other things I do is I take my ruler, my cutting ruler, and I lay it, and I don't know if you can see, but I have drawn a line. So when I sew down here, I know that I'm going to catch all of the layers of the fabric if I sew along that line. And again, I just make sure it's square. What else? I, lay it on my cutting mat, cut it off even, put the ruler on the bottom, cut it off even so the lines are even. I don't need help, Fairy, but thank you for offering. If you look at your sewing machine and like on the walking foot, you can see these little inner holes here. I have discovered that if I line up the edge of my material exactly with the inner edge of that when I put a zipper in, that's just the right distance on the seam for a zipper. That's just how I've discovered to do it. But what I would tell you is just get familiar with whatever it is you're using and find yourself some landmarks, basically. It's like when I went to nursing school and they taught us how to, give injections. You had to like put one finger on the acromion process and come down 2 finger breaths, and then you knew you were in the deltoid muscle. Find the same kind of thing. Find yourself some landmarks. Your sewing machine also on like, I don't know what to call it, I guess a strike plate or whatever the plate is, like at the bottom, you will notice some lines engraved on it. Those are marked in like 1/4 inch, 5/8 of an inch, whatever. Find out where you want to line up and just follow those lines. I have also taken my ruler and a Sharpie and drawn some lines that extend on down to the bottom of the front of my sewing machine. So even if I'm kind of covering up those ones at the back as I'm sewing, I can still guide it in straight. And most important thing, just don't be too hard on yourself, because like Suzette says, it's not brain surgery or rocket science. It's a project bag. It's going to be usable. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I've gotten much more proficient at them than I was. I can do one in about 2 hours. It's a heck of a lot faster than I was when I started, but I'm still not fast. But anyway, the whole gist of that is, if I can do it, you can do it. Don't be afraid to try it. What's the worst that can happen? You get kind of a wonky project bag. So what? Okay, on my last giveaway 2 weeks ago, I had a couple of giveaways. The first one is for, this is an old Mosey and Me pattern from, I think, like 1990 something. I don't remember now. But it's called If a Flower Bloomed. And I asked folks to tell me they'd like to stitch the garden. And I did the random comment picker thing on that. And the winner on that is Christy Donay, D-O-N-N-A-Y. Donay. I'm sorry if I'm ruining your name. But anyway, Christy, I will comment on your comment when I get done with this video. It takes a while for my stuff to upload, so that may be later today. But when you see it in the drop-down box under the video, the little arrow on the far right-hand side, right in the video, if you click that, it'll drop down the information about the video, and all of my contact information will be in there. And then the other thing I'm giving away is my older DMC card. This is a DMC card from, I think, the year 2000. There have definitely been a couple of thread releases since this card came out, but I was using it just fine till a couple of weeks ago. I did get a new card as the last of my birthday haul, but you know, again, nothing wrong with this one. Works just fine. And I again used the random comment picker, and the winner on this one was T Lowe, L-O-E. So T Lowe, whoever you are, again, get in contact with me, email me, Facebook me, Instagram me, however you want to get in touch. Like Priscilla and Chelsea say, 2 ways are probably better than one, because I sometimes go a couple days between checking Facebook or whatever. So get in touch with me, and wherever you guys are, I will mail these out to you. I'm going to the post office in a little bit here to mail project bags, but after this it will probably be, I'm going to guess, the middle of next week before I get back out to the post office. But I will get it out to you as soon as I can, once I've heard from you. And then the last thing was, okay, you guys saw I got the new Bonnie and Clyde turkey pattern. So this is called Delivering Plenty from Homespun Elegance. Also a turkey pattern. It's cute. Just once I got it, it was browner than what I wanted, because I'm just not a brown person. So I'm going to give this away to somebody. So what I want you to do is just tell me, I want to stitch the turkey. And before my next video, I will, you know, do the random comment picker thing and pull somebody and send you this pattern. You can be anywhere in the world. You need to be over 18 years old, so you can give me your address. Don't say giveaway. All the routine YouTube giveaway stuff. Don't say giveaway though. And I will send that out to somebody. I think that's about it. I'm at 33 minutes, so I think I'm going to quit while I'm maybe not ahead, but at least no further behind. So I hope you guys have a wonderful stitchy day, stitchy weekend, stitchy week. Stitch all the good things. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your stitching. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.